Hello and welcome to Tuesday night continued coverage. We're here with Indy NXT at Texas, coming right off the back of the Big Dog INDYCAR Oval Series here at Texas, live on P1 Broadcasting here on your Tuesday night. Getting into practice here. Got some cars out on track. A lot of familiar names and some new ones to the world of the Indy NXT, or even oval formula racing at large. Good to see a number of familiar names here. We'll get the pylon rolling here just so we can see who's all in here as we head into qualifying. We're expecting kind of a similar race as to what we saw at Charlotte last week. It's possible that it's slightly different just given that Texas does have the two different banking degrees between both corners. I believe one is considered progressive and the other is not. So we'll hop on board with the prodigy Indy Kirkwood, see what he's going to do here in qualifying. He's hanging out in the pit lane. People up. Let's hop out with Chris Wetz then. He's cruising out, heading off to the backstretch here. Start his qualifying run. So we shall see what Mr. Wetz has on offer here. We'll get the driver inputs here as he gets up to speed off of turn number 4 here to start his first of 2 qualifying laps. Expecting to see a good bit of usage of the bottom on lap 2. I imagine he's going to try to use this opening lap to get his car up to speed, feel out the tires, get him up to temperatures. We've seen that catch out a number of people in these opening couple races, particularly on the ovals. I want to thank everybody for joining us here. See Shane Coker in chat, amongst others. Christopher Albrecht, I believe, is in there as well. Good to see some familiar folks in there. Ryan O'Donohue. P1 Broadcasting is hitting us with the GoFundMe link. If you want to support our coverage monetarily and have the means to do so, the link is there or in the description of this stream. See Wetz complete 1 flyer. That's actually his 2nd flyer. I put him 7th temporarily on the board. Up to 3rd, actually. So that comes through. There we go. All right. So we'll be seeing maybe if we've got any other stragglers still out there setting times. Hop on board with, let's see, Miles Morris. See what he's doing. He's heading out of the pit lane now. Watch his qualifying run here tonight. Seeing some familiar names up near the top of the pylon between Crash Neon and Chris Wetz. Good to see them back again for another round here. Some other familiar names. Adriano Fraporti, Elijah Gilson, Tyquila in the field tonight. Got the prodigy Indy Kirkenbauer. He sets a time. We got Caleb Brashear, Kyle Clenworth, Brian Campbell, and Andre Castro is our number 1 car here tonight. Miles getting up to his first of 2 laps. One more time around here on the speedway. He'll come around, complete his 2nd flying lap tonight, and that'll stick him provisionally 7th in the field. Relatively tight field especially near the top, as we'll see on the pylon there. But almost near a full 10 cars within 1/10 of a second of each other here in qualifying. So AJ Pritchett jumps up to the 4th spot. He's one of the last ones to set down times. He's still rolling, maybe slowing down now. We'll hop to him. Get another one. So he comes off of turn number 4 here. Andre Castro jumps up to 3rd. He'll be hungry tonight. And that will be, I believe, all the cars that are going to set times here tonight. All right, let's get ourselves a grid. So, on the pole here tonight with a 27.203, Indy Kirkwood, the prodigy. To his outside will be the number 20 of Kyle Stewart. We'll have ourselves Andre Castro in P number 3. Crash Neon 4th. To his outside, AJ Pritchett will start 5th alongside Brian Campbell in his Rogue Racing entry in 6th. Chris Wetz will start 7th. Robert Heath will be 8th. Miles Morse will be 9th. Caleb Brashear in his Luke Mansky Racing Machine entry will be 10th. Ty Keela will start 11th alongside Will Dotson in 12th. Stanislav Boldarev will be 13th. Adriano Verporti will start 14th. Andrew Hamilton will be 15th. Elijah Gilson, 16th. Kyle Clenworth in his Rogue Racing entry will be 17th, alongside Christopher Albrecht in 18th. Ray Farlow in 19th. Tyler Villamere in 20th. And Nick A. Martin will be 21st, with Scott Bell rounding out the field in 22nd tonight. Now, a lot of cars did not opt to set times. Albrecht on back did not set times here tonight. We shall see who's got what for the field tonight. See if we can get back to the front of the field here. Indy Kirkenbauer in that Miles Rowe scheme, a nice one to see out on the track, particularly on the ovals. Yeah, Coker, I got there. We got Ty's Lucky Charms car. We got the paints. We got them enforced now. Wetz in his. I gotta see Wetz's car. We were looking at it last night on the road broadcast, and I couldn't quite see what it was. So, oh, it's an Able Motorsports car. Okay, not sure whose car this would be specifically. Maybe it is. I don't know. That's a nice looking silver car for Chris Wetz. We'll hop back to an outboard shot here of our field. Get the timing pylon up for us here. Kirkenbauer will lead them to green. Single pace lap here at the 1.5 mile Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth. Kyle is the only pit road starter. We're getting an in-race report from him. That might be a smart decision. We'll see how this opening stage kind of plays out here. Pace car will be heading off here shortly. Field will be in control of Indy Kirkenbauer. Here we go. Green flag.
Green, green, green.
We're off. Kirkenbauer to a solid jump. Castro right behind him, making ground up early, trying to get ahead. He shoots to the inside. So far, so good, I believe. No incident for cause yet. everybody's kind of scrambling to get their car back into the tow of somebody. As Indy stays committed to that low line. A lot of jockeying towards the back half of the top 10. We'll hop back to that shortly. Castro looks to the high side here. Isn't going to have anything. He's going to tuck back into line behind Kirkenbauer. Looks up again. See if he maybe gets enough of a run to get alongside here. Not quite. Kyle Stewart's going to fill the gap. See if Castro opts to stay up here once Stewart clears, potentially. Everybody kind of getting back towards single file on the bottom, a scene that we've kind of seen play out one time before. Number of cars, Castro looking, getting loose, trying to get back around Kyle Stewart. That causes a bit of a kerfuffle behind Castro there with Pritchett, Wetz, Brashear, and Morse. Indy remains committed to that bottom line. We're going to see if anybody can do anything. Right up on the attenuator for Stewart. Castro looks. He's there, I believe. I'll keep him there. Hop back maybe with Chris Wetz here in his machine. Get on board with him. See what he's seeing here. A lot of wing. He's seeing a lot of wing here. Ooh. Stewart gets shot up the track. He holds on to it. He's going to lose some spots and likely a good bit of momentum there. Not looking too unlike the Charlotte race we saw last week. A lot of bottom running, people trying to find a way to kind of inch underneath the cars ahead of them, waiting for mistakes. Wetz is up to fourth now. See a lot of fighting the wheel through the corner there for Wetz. It's like it's still a struggle. Castro looks to the bottom, has to let out with Kirkenbauer ahead. Pritchett right in between these guys. This is tight all the way around this 1.5 mile track. Just trying to stay off of each other. Not looking too unusual for what we kind of anticipated rolling into this one. Unfortunate as that may be. Strength of field, I believe, was around 3,600 tonight. Not a super strong field like we saw for the season opener at Iowa at 5,100 and change. But a sizable field, nonetheless. I'm staying on board with Wetz one more time here just to see if anything changes. Not looking too super likely here. Almost a quarter of the way home. 3 more times around will get us there. Hop back to an outboard camera here, get more of the field in view. Brashear right on the toes of Wetz. Morse is behind him. We got a car in the grass.
Caution, yellow flag.
And Stanislav Boldarev has crashed, amongst others. See if we can get maybe a better view of what happened to him amongst the wrecking. Ooh. All right, so we've got everybody coming off turn 4 here. Oh, Stanislav comes up into the 16 machine of Nick Martin, I believe, and that's... Ooh. We got cars up and over. We've got Ty Keela, I believe, got a piece of that. He might be okay. Go back here and see who else gets involved in this. Got the 14 car of Ray Farlow. Kyle Clenworth, I believe, has gotten off scot-free, potentially. We'll have to see as we get back to restart here. Yeah, Ray Farlow was involved in that one. Kyle Stewart, Stanislav, Nick A. Martin, Crash Neon was out early in this race. Not sure what happened to him. Got 3 cars with the meatball, Stewart, Boldarev, and Martin. They're all heading towards the pit lane to get their cars repaired. Indy Kirkwood still leads from the pole. We've gotten 10 laps of running in so far. We're currently on lap 11. We'll have to see if anyone does anything odd here, like head to the pit lane or does a funny wiggle or something. We'll look off the back. Looks like a number of cars are opting to come in. It looks like the first of them will be Wets. Wets, Morris, amongst others. Looks like we've got the 19 machine of Andrew Hamilton. Fraporti comes in. Tequila is in. Looks like a number of cars maybe don't have the meatball, but have significant amounts of damage on their cars, like Mr. Keela here, missing his entire rear wing assembly. See how long it takes him to get back out there. Hop back out with the field as they pace around. See who can get back in this race. There it is. My apologies. I could see it on my screen, but I didn't have it on the... There it is. My apologies, everybody. I believe Gilson's running 7th? 6th. All right, now we got that sorted. We'll have to check where the pace car is going here, if it's going to stay out another lap or not. We'll hop back out to an outboard camera. Looks like pace car will be pulling in this time. We're heading on to lap 14. Thanks for working with me here as I kind of work through the technical bugs here. So it'll be Kirkenbauer from Castro, Pritchett's in 3rd, Brashear, Campbell, Gilson, Heath, Dotson, Albrecht, Clenworth, your top 10. And then I believe everybody's still moving out on track, pitted under this caution. That's Wetz, Morse, Hamilton, Fraporti, Villemere, and Tequila, with Scott Bell being 1 lap down. Put this field back in control of Kirkenbauer. See what people can do here. Indy's off.
Green flag.
Race back under green. See if we can keep it going the rest of the way here. Big gap. We got Pritchett looking all over Castro, trying to find way by him. Looks to the high side, maybe try to mount a little bit of a charge. Indy comes back down to that bottom lane through 3 and 4. Brashear's looking on Pritchett to try to make a move. Campbell's in tow there in his number 4 machine tonight. Castro's going way up to the top side. Maybe trying to break the draft of the cars behind him. He latches onto the back of Kirkenbauer off 4 here. He's right there on the gearbox, looking for a way through. Stay up near the front here. There's a battle brewing towards the bottom part of the top 10, I believe. It's a ways back there with Forty down to 14th now. Looks like Wetz has made good use of new tires, moving already back up to 10th. I believe that's a couple spots for him since the restart. See if that ends up paying off late in the running. I believe we're still having where it has unlimited tires. I'm not sure if that's changed. Somebody can let me know if that's changed. That does mean that tires are not a hot commodity here in the Indy NXT Oval Series. Kirkwood remains in the lead from Castro and Pritchett. Elijah Gilson is falling backwards just outside the top 10 now. He's in 11th. Looks like fresh tires have made something happen for Wetz and Hamilton. They're up inside the top 10 now. First two cars on new tires. They're battling each other for that 9th spot back here. I believe that's the Texas. Oh, that's Tennessee Volunteers. Sorry, I didn't quite see the Tennessee when I got to it, but Tennessee. Back here for Andrew Hamilton running 9th. Albrecht running 7th. And his Colton Herta scheme, the Gamebridge car. I guess that's probably going to be a willpower scheme this coming season in the IndyCar Series. Ride around with him for a little while here. So Andrew Hamilton's the biggest mover on new tires, up to 8th. Not sure if that's just been him being fortunate with where he's placed his car, if the new tires are actually helping in terms of getting runs or anything. Hop back to the front here. Kirkwood's got this field knocking at his door all the way around this facility, trying to find if there's any way they can generate the run to get ahead here. Number of cars shooting low into the grass there. Campbell right on Brashear for 3rd spot. He stays low. Everybody kind of migrated to the bottom for the most part. Takes you until, I believe, the number 10 machine of AJ Pritchett is the only one still running the high side inside that top 10. So everybody else remains single file on the bottom. Number of cars dipping onto the apron a little bit there. Hop back to Castro at the front. Kirkwood. Slow burn this one. We've just passed halfway, so we'll get it down to gap here, and we'll get laps to go. 22 left in this 45 lap event. Staying married to the bottom. It's what we all anticipated. Not a whole lot of lane options, just given the way that this car kind of performs. This isn't super uncommon if you've maybe run the Indy Pro 2000 on some of the bigger tracks. We've done things like Motegi in the past, and on at least the Junior Open Global Challenge Series, which is also fixed setup, that tends to stay pretty congested on the bottom unless you've got, you've got a lifting opportunity in turns 3 and 4 at Motegi, even in those cars, but it's still pretty difficult to make a big move on the leader if they can stay committed to that lower lane and hold you off. A little bit of a gap now for Indy, almost 2/10. Field behind about the top 8 or so. Seems to be fighting a bit harder. Castro looked real low on Kirkwood there Both of them basically went to the apron to try to get that to work. Got one car way up high. That's Scott Bell back in the field. Still a choo-choo train. It's in full effect. Choo-choo. Still single file pretty much all the way through the field at this point. Nobody's looking like they're opted to make any sort of significant moves at this stage. Campbell shoots to the high side, maybe got stuck out there. We'll see if he's able to fight back down into the lower lane at some point here. Just doesn't seem like there's any sort of momentum you can gain in alternate lanes here. If we can try to cover some future coverage here on the channel while we've got a bit of a lull here in the race. So tomorrow night, Mark Murphy will have the call for the 9th round of the Horizon IndyCar Series from Road America. That'll start at 8 Eastern. Thursday night will be the AMA Xfinity Series from the Charlotte Roval for round 29 of their 3rd season. That'll be at 8:30 Eastern Time Thursday. Friday, we'll have the AMA Truck Series round 22 from the Charlotte Roval starting at 8:30 Eastern. And then we will loop back around to Sunday, which will be the Dark Horse DW12 Series, their championship round from Indianapolis at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then back to Monday, we'll have our present, future, past coverage with the Indy Open Series from Phoenix for their 4th round of the season. The Onyx Lotus 79 Series will be at Legacy, Michigan. That'll start at 9:05 Eastern. Indy Open starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll have my coverage of the Indy Next Road Series from VIR starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. That has a chance to rain. I'm looking forward to seeing if that comes out in force at the tricky Virginia International Raceway. So we'll run through the top 10 here, get everybody on camera a little bit. We got Indy Kirkwood leading, Castro's in 2nd, Caleb Brashear runs 3rd, Will Dotson has worked his way up to 4th. He's made quite the charge through the field. We've got Christopher Albrecht in 5th, Chris Wett 6th, Andrew Hamilton will run 7th. Brian Campbell has found his way back to the bottom, down in 8th. Miles Morris is 9th. Adriano Fraporti will round out your top 10 with Gilson trying to fight on the outside. He'll likely remain in 11th for the time being. Kyle Clenworth looking to his inside in 12th. AJ Pritchett has fallen quite a ways down the order since the start of this race. He's 13th. Robert Heath will be 14th. Ty Keela, he's out here a little ways off the field, running 15th. I wonder if he's still got a bit of damage or if he's opted just to ride around here, make it to the finish. And Tyler Villemere will be 16th with Scott Bell back in the field, 1 lap down. Back to the front here. Castro's gotten really, really close. He's about as close as he can get to that car without pushing it. Got an Indy fan in chat. He's led lights to flag so far. Knock on wood. I'm knocking on it. Coming with 9 to go here. He remains at the bottom. In that Miles Rowe scheme. Gap widens between Castro and Brashear as Castro shoots to the high side, looks back low. Indy stays low. As long as you don't leave the gap down there, there's not really anywhere for the car behind to go there. Castro will shoot up to the high side, come back low, tuck into line. He's trying. Hats off to him. He'll look low here again. Kirkenbauer still blocks off the bottom here. We remain green, still rolling, 7 to go. We're holding tough on that bottom lane. Everybody's holding tough on that bottom lane. Castro's got to be basically pushing Kirkenbauer down the straightaways at this point. See Castro look high, fade low. Almost. There was almost a gap there that time by. Indy would have had to give it, or they were going to have themselves a crash. Brashear's worked his way back into the picture here. He runs in third. Luke Penske Racing Machine. Castro looks high again, cuts low. Kirkenbauer stays glued to the bottom. Castro's trying everything to force a mistake. Keep Indy guessing here at the front. We'll come to 4 to go this time. Kirkbauer remains in the lead from Castro and Brashear. Everybody on the bottom. Bit bigger of a gap this time by as Castro's fallen back. Big kerfuffle. Number of cars back as a number of them hit the grass coming through the quad oval. Indy's out to about a 0.3 of a second lead at this point. Wonder if people are waiting to maybe get a slingshot run coming to the line. That's going to maybe be the only opportunity to make a shot at the lead here. Sam Hornish Jr. Indy Racing League special. Pip on the outside coming to the line. Castro's starting to reel back. Kirkenbauer just over 0.2 of a second now. He looks high. Fades back down low. Coming to 1 to go. Got cars on the apron towards the back of the field, but here's Castro's grand chance. Is he going to make a move here? He looks high. Does he have enough momentum? Kirkenbauer's going to take it. Props to Andre Castro. He fought tooth and nail to try to make a move happen. Just not enough straight. 37 thousandths the margin of victory for Indy Kirkenbauer here tonight. Hats off to him. He'll come around one more time. Likely park it near the front straightaway here. Is he going to spin it around here for us? Looks like he's got Kyle Clenworth joining him. See if we get a further out camera here. Indy Kirkenbauer, your winner here tonight from the Texas Motor Speedway in the Indy NXT Oval Series. All 45 laps, I believe, were his. He had a dominant performance, put his car on pole, never looked back. Seems to be the name of the game here at these 1.5 mile tracks in Indy NXT. And we will run through the rest of your finishers here tonight. So, we got Indy Kirkenbauer winning Over Andre Castro, Caleb Brashear will be third. Will Dotson, fourth. Christopher Albrecht will be fifth. Chris Weth, sixth. Mile Moore, seventh. Andrew Hamilton, eighth. Brian Campbell, ninth. Adriano Fraporti will round out your top 10. Elijah Gilson will be 12th. AJ Pritchett in 11th. Kyle Clenworth, 13th. Robert Heath, 14th. Tykeela, 15th. Tyler Villemere will be 16th, the last car on the lead lap. Scott Bell will finish 17th, one lap down. And then Ray Farlow, Kyle Stewart, Stanislav Boldarev, Nick Martin, and Crash Neon did not make it to the finish due to various incidents throughout this event. See if we can get a camera here for Brashear, since I'm sure he'll have some thoughts for us here tonight. All right. All right. Let's see who we got. Got anybody? We got everybody, I think. All right, let's get Caleb on up here. Caleb Brashear, Jake Collins of the P1 Broadcasting booth. You got me?
Yep.
Well, Caleb, I think we had ourselves the same song, same dance, except it was square dancing here in Texas, rolling that bottom lane. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit worse than what Charlotte was, because at least with Charlotte, it felt like the draft was. It felt like, for some reason, the draft just did not, like, work at all, and you took, like, forever to get a run. And there was a couple times, like, when somebody went high, I'm like, oh, if I was, in normal draft, I could catch up, and, if they went high, and that just didn't happen at all. And somehow I started 10th, finished third, and because I don't know how. I think most people just didn't know that it was basically the IR5 running the bottom. But, I mean, it could be worse. But it could have been a crash fest the entire time. But at least we stayed green and, we didn't have any of the yellow change-ups, at least, besides the very beginning.
Yeah, we saw a number of cars opt to try to take tires under that yellow. It didn't look like it had a huge, huge impact on anybody trying to make their way through the field. You have any other thoughts as to maybe what you'd like to see and maybe these tracks? If we get to something like a Motegi or maybe a Kentucky, do you feel like that might work a bit better for these cars, or do you have any thoughts as to kind of what you feel we need in terms to get these cars actually side by side racing each other?
We need the super. I know the real life package has not ran in a number of years, but we need the super speedway package that they ran quite a bit ago. I feel like that's the only solution. I mean, even like with Iowa, Iowa almost felt, it was a caution fest, but like for the first 10 laps, it felt like a pack race almost. And that's it's less than a mile. So honestly, we go to Motegi and it's like, well, I don't see much improvement, to be honest, unless turns 3 and 4 are really that far off, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just tires being at a kind of a bit of a premium, right? As you've got, especially with some of the shorter race distances we've got here, it takes a while for the tires to, one, get up to temp, and two, start falling off for people. We see in the IndyCar a lot of the longer stints, you can get the tires to fall off quite a bit, and that kind of separates drivers out. But we just don't quite seem to have that here, even on those shorter ovals. So we'll have to see kind of how that perspires or kind of comes to fruition through the rest of the season. I believe next week we're going to Richmond, so maybe that'll stand to be a better opportunity with the shorter track, lower banking, try to get the car into the sweet spot. Well, that being said, another podium finish for you here tonight. You racked up, I believe, one last night as well in the Road Series. So friends, family, sponsors, whoever we want to shout out, floor is yours.
Scott Reddick, love you, buddy, and obviously Luke Mansky, my teammates Logan Edwards and Will Weiser. Logan didn't do so well in the Open, although I can say the same with my part, just choking a win away, but we managed to get a podium here. But other than that, our sponsor, iPredictor, go check them out. Just for iRacing scheduling, they're the best at it. But other than that, That's pretty much all I got.
Well, thank you, Caleb. Good to see you here again here tonight, and we'll hope to keep seeing you throughout the season across all our coverage here on P1. Keep going fast, having fun. Have a good night.
All right, thank you, Bam.
That'll be Caleb Brashear. We'll get Andre Castro up here. Andre, Jacob Collins, P1 Broadcasting. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
Yeah, hey Andre, it's nice to see you here again here tonight in the Indy NXT series on the ovals this time. You have any thoughts on the race tonight? What you were trying tooth and nail basically the entire race to set up a pass on Kirkwood and fell up just short.
Yeah, it was pretty impossible. I mean, it was more of a parade. Some of those guys were like defending the racing, and I feel like they should come to. I'm from New York City, so they should come for the Thanksgiving Day parade because that's a really nice one we have here. But yeah, I don't know. Congrats to Indy. He said his highest SOF win, so he nailed qualifying. He did a good job. But I don't know. I thought this was gonna do anything, but I feel like iRacing should definitely change something because that was pretty terrible. It was pretty impossible to pass. If you went to the high side, you just go backwards. So it's just chilling, just riding in line for 45 laps.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same song we had last week at Charlotte in particular with the 1.5s being a bit of a one-line fest. It's not super uncommon to see in like the ladder cars throughout the road to Indy on some of the ovals for it to be kind of a one-line, you got to stick to your guns and hope for a mistake from cars ahead, and that never seems to really come just given how tight the line is and how gripped up everybody is. Unfortunate, really, because I think that there'd be good opportunities for a couple of these bigger tracks to be really fun if there was maybe a bit more lane variance. You could get people to work their ways around. We've got a couple more
Yeah,
left.
definitely.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I agree, and I think we're on the same page, and appreciate the broadcast and everything. It'd just be cool to. It's annoying to do a race like that, and then I just wanted to say something about it, So hopefully, maybe either iRacing doesn't put a track like that on the schedule, or maybe they make a package where, like in real life, they don't race on 1.5s in real life, but I would think it would be a little more dynamic than that. So, yeah, it was just a parade.
Yeah, we've got a couple more left on the season this season. I believe next season we've got community control, so we've got a poll out there on the forums for everybody to go vote on for tracks for both this and the Road Series. We are only planning on running one 1.5 that has not been run this season. That's the intent. We're just gonna see if there's like one. It looks like I think the front runner might be Motegi. That might be the only one that stands a chance of being something a bit different. But if you have opinions on what you'd like to see in the series, please do vote on the forums. We'd love to get everybody's opinions accounted for, especially because this is a unique series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope everyone else votes too. And I've had fun in this car. So not sure how many more races I'll do this season, but looking forward to the next one whenever I show up again. And always like the broadcasts and watching them. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Andre, if you've got any friends, families, or sponsors you want to shout out, floor is yours, podium finish, all you.
Chris Sweats finishing P6 in that race. Good result for the team. That's it, I think. Yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely, Andre. Great to see you here on the podium again here tonight. We'll hopefully see you a couple more times throughout the season across all our Indy NXT coverage.
All right. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, Andre. Andre Castro, P2 tonight. And the man of the night, Indy Kirkwood. We'll get him up on here. Indy Kirkwood, Jacob Collins, P1 Broadcast. You got me?
Yep, I got you.
Well, you started at the front and kept it there the whole race. Talk about kind of your thoughts and feelings of having to navigate the conduction of the train tonight.
Yeah, I lit the conga line tonight, but yeah, definitely more passing opportunities than Charlotte. You could dive it in deep into one, so he almost got me on lap 12 and we made contact there, which I apologized to him about in the Discord. I thought he was going high, but yeah, it was really tough, especially those last 10 laps. I was worried that he was going to get a huge run on me, try to beat me to the line, which he did try, but yeah, it's just really hard to pass these 1.5 miles in the Indy NXT car, and I was lucky enough to get the pole and just led it from there.
Yeah, we saw a number of attempts by Castro and a couple other cars to try to make a concerted effort to make a pass for the lead, but it never really fully came to fruition until that last lap attempt. Did you have any concerns for some of the kind of just how to navigate those cars behind you? You know, we saw kind of Castro snaking from the top to the bottom, particularly down the backstretch, trying to build up as much momentum as he could. Was there ever a kind of a concern that you were going to slip up and maybe move a little too far away from that bottom lane and he'd get on through?
Yeah, definitely. The one time he tried to go under me in the tri-oval, and that was probably the most risk that I've ever been in, because I did leave a space, because what I was doing is that I would hit the bottom in the first section of the quad oval, so then I could get a bigger arc to go lower into turn 1, and this time I was worried he was going to get under me, and then I would cycle all the way to the back, but I was more worried about into 1, because you do get there is some wheel spin. Like, I know there was some tire wear actually here, and I know there wasn't that much at Charlotte. Just because off 2, you're definitely squealing the tires if you want to hold the bottom on exit. Even in clean air, I'm sure dirty air was worse. But yeah, I did one of these earlier today, just to practice. But this one definitely my highest SOF win here so far. So this is a big win.
Yeah, it's great to see you out here in the Indy NXT Series, getting some good results. If you've got any friends, family, sponsors, feel free to shout them out here. Floor is yours.
Yeah, Fremont Functional Fitness, BG Emery, and the Alley and Clyde, and Make Something on YouTube.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Indy. Great job on the win here tonight, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, I'm glad to say I'm the youngest ever Indy NXT SOF winner, so I'll take that.
There you go. Indy Kirkwood, your winner here tonight. We want to thank everybody for tuning in for this race. We'll have coverage of Indy NXT Oval from Richmond next week, I believe. Double check and confirm that right now. Make sure we're going to the right place. Yes, Richmond Raceway will be next week for a 70-lap event. And we want to thank everybody who tuned in once again. And to all those who perform the difficult jobs around the world that let us do all the things that we love to do, we thank you. Have a good night, everyone.